When I was a kid, I loved being tucked in. It was the favorite part of my day until I was probably older than I would care to admit. Although, now that I think about it, I'm not embarrassed about that at all. It was the time of day when typically my mom, I would say goodnight to my dad in the family room, and then I'd go get in bed. My mom would come in a couple minutes after, sit on the edge of my bed, and just talk to me for a minute. I don't actually remember if she prayed with me. More on that in a moment. Um, but would review the day or talk about what was happening the next day, whatever it might be. She'd give me a kiss, tell me she loved me, and then that was that. I loved it. As some of you who listen to or used to watch Don't Trust This Man might know, have children of my own now, and since they were, and when they were little, through their childhoods, we would tuck them in too. Both of my children are now old, too old, I suppose, society, and maybe even they would say, to be tucked in. That notwithstanding, it's always important to me to make sure they know that I love them before they go to bed, whether that's through that being the last thing I say to them at the end of the day, or coming into their room and bending over and giving them a kiss on the forehead and telling them that I love them, talking for a minute. When the kids were little, my wife would pray for them, and she would finish every prayer with this sort of supplication that they would have sweet dreams and peaceful rest. And I, ever the subconscious contrarian, switched that to peaceful rest and sweet dreams. And so I said that to the children, to the kids for a long time. And every once in a while, even now, I'll maybe tell them that I hope they have peaceful rest and sweet dreams. I had that tattooed on my arm, in fact. Well, just the initials, PRST. Anyway, it seemed to me it might be nice to do something like that for you. Not come into your room at night and tell you I love you. That would not be nice. That would, I think, be, at least a misdemeanor, maybe not felony breaking and entering. But in this way, through this medium, to stop at the end of every day and say, hey, and maybe talk to you for a moment about something I experienced or thought in the day. And so, my name is Stephen, and this is Get Tucked, I Don't Trust This Man podcast. The format every day will be, or every night will be, pretty simple. There's me talking. I'm going to talk through, as I just said, just a thought or two from the day. The second thing is where it might get a little weird. I'm going to attempt to talk to you, although I don't know you, I don't know what your day was like or what challenges you faced. I'm still going to attempt to speak to you in a way that might somehow, some way, address some part of your day, whoever you are. Lastly, I'm going to read every evening from that day's lectionary reading of the Psalms. Let me stop here to say that I am what modern Americans or people in general would call a Christian, although I don't very much look like, I don't think, the modern American Christian. I diverge on a lot of issues with a lot of people, but I still have a worldview grounded in a belief in a divine being who came to be among us in the man called Jesus, the Christ from Nazareth. And so that is a faith that I'm sure we'll explore together and unpack in the coming weeks and months. But even if I weren't a Christian or a believer or whatever, the Psalms are ultimately poetry. And even if you don't believe in the God to whom or about whom they were written, what's interesting is if you focus on the other conversant, the other person talking in the Psalms, oftentimes David, Moses, whatever. If you think about the perspective of the person saying the things to or about God, it doesn't really matter your faith grounding or your worldview or your faith background, because I think what we see in the Psalms, what we get a glimpse into, is just sort of the human condition and the struggle of whatever our particular fight may be. Now, that said, there are times when David talks about enemies and arrows and hiding, and I haven't actually been chased by enemies in forever, since like the third grade. So I know there might be some more tangential connections, or some connections might be more tangential than not. But anyway, I think there's something grounding in reading ancient texts, and the Psalms are some of my favorites, and this is my podcast. So you just get in bed, deal with it. That's the last time I'll ever use those two phrases concurrently in that way. Or so I guess it'd be subsequently, not concurrently. Concurrently would be at the same time, which I can't do with two phrases and only one mouth. And so this is our maiden voyage. Let me say this to you by way of encouragement, and then we'll read our passage and we'll be done for tonight. I don't know what it is that you're thinking about doing, what it is you've been thinking about doing for some time, the thing you've been planning on getting started. What I want to say to you is I don't want to give you any encouragement around how exciting it would be to start, or the fact that there's something in you just waiting to sort of get out and you just got to do it. And it's the war of art. All I want to say to you is I know how hard it can be to go from that belief that there's something for you to do and then actually the doing of it. And what I would say to you is, don't be ashamed that it's hard to get started. I believe shame, in the context we're talking about it now, is a lie, and it's a bully. If you've had an idea for 20 years, maybe just hold on to it for one more day. Thank you, Wilson Phillips. Maybe in the 21st year, the idea becomes the thing you do. I don't know. I just want to tell you that it's okay that you haven't started. And if you feel like it's not okay, well then start. But if it takes you another minute or hour or month or year or decade, that's okay too. Psalm 63. O God, you are my God. I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water. So I have looked upon you in the sanctuary, beholding your power and glory. Because your steadfast love is better than life, my lips will praise you. So I will bless you as long as I live. I will lift up my hands and call on your name. My soul is satisfied as with a rich feast, and my mouth praises you with joyful lips. When I think of you on my bed and meditate on you in the watches of the night, for you have been my help, and in the shadow of your wings I sing for joy. My soul clings to you, your right hand upholds me. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. I hope you sleep well tonight. And my prayer for you is that you would have peaceful rest and sweet dreams.